It's me, Jimmy D, and welcome to this week's episode review of Stargirl, Episode 9, Brainwave. Before we get into it, I do review all these shows, and I will review Season 2 of Stargirl once that airs on the CW, whenever that is. And so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Now, this week's episode of Stargirl, holy shit, we got so much to talk about. First things first, the mom now knows doesn't quite know yet, but she walked in to the basement on Pat and Courtney with the staff, so she knows something's up, and we're gonna have to see that aftermath next week. This episode is majority about Henry. Now, Henry, I love how they helped him develop his powers further. By him not being able to control him, to him pretty much being able to have, I would say, a majority of the control. The use of old tapes that his dad used to document, because he's a scientist, document the way his powers developed and everything, is a easy, fantastic, well-written way for Henry to get this boost of power pretty quickly over the course of an episode, because he's learning from those tapes and able to go further into what his mind is capable of. Now, he hears his dad's voice when he's talking to the maid, so he goes back to the hospital. Courtney tries to talk to him, and it's very back and forth, so you feel like she's making some ground, but then he's clearly more on his dad's side, and that ultimately unfolds further later on in the episode. Wildcat, Yolanda, comes and visits Henry because she does not trust him. She does not want him to be part of the team. She actually she wants him dead, and while I understand her mind, I think that's just a little too far for what happened, and we don't fully know exactly if he sent the pictures around, or if Cindy somehow got his phone and sent them around. We don't know which is which. So I kind of want to lean towards Cindy being the person who actually sent them around, instead of Henry himself. Now, at the end of the episode, we do see this lawyer come in to take Brainwave off of life support, and he's lying. He just wants money. Henry finds out and ultimately kills him, and this wakes up his dad. That's the cliffhanger of the episode. Fantastic. I loved it. Another part I loved about this episode, and you guys know that I've raved about Icicle because his alter ego, Jordan, it's fantastic because it seems very much like, I mean, he's a loving person. Like, you hate him because he's Icicle, but like, you can't help but like his character. And he comes to dinner. Seeing him sit there with Pat and everything, and the grandparents sitting there, it was tense. It was amazing the way it was shot, of both the whole table at once, basically opposing sides. It was just fantastic. And the fact that Pat didn't know at first, I mean, he still doesn't fully know, but and the simple way that they had Courtney discover that, hey, Jordan is Icicle, by just a hot plate, just a scalding hot plate, and him just picking it up normal. Fantastic. I love it. It's well written. It's well thought out. It's great. And I just could not, it was awesome. Pat was being a little suspicious of Jordan and his wife a little bit, because they do have a bond, and seeing that at the dinner table definitely was weird. Again, I do feel like they did struggle a little bit with side characters. I feel like the actual Justice Society with Beth and all, they they got some screen time, but they should have got a little bit more. Mike here, I didn't even know he was at the table at first until he spoke, saying there was no dumplings, and then the dog situation. They they don't do a amazing job at balancing out who's in the episode. While this week's episode was definitely a step up in that area, I do feel like they do have a little bit more work to go as well. Overall, I would say this episode was perfect, if not just under perfect. So I'm going to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Just overall enjoyable, had me on the edge of my seat the entire time, and I cannot wait for next week so we can see what happens. As you know by now, the CW has renewed Stargirl for a season 2, and it's only going to be on the CW. So when that season 2 does start, these videos will come out directly after the episode airs on the CW. I love this show. It is fantastic. If you do love it as well, let me know in the comments below. What did you think of tonight's episode? I do stream over on Twitch pretty much daily. If you want to come check us out there, link to description is in the description below. And like always, I will see you in the next one. Later.